Now to news covering the southern border again, because that had a little bit to do with the southern border, and so does this. House Republicans have hit a roadblock as they attempt to propose a border security bill. So what is holding us off on this? Joe Khalil is in Washington, D.C. with more on the bill, or lack thereof. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Mitch. So there is a bill, and it is a Republican-sponsored border security bill. What it would do is empower Homeland Security to turn away any migrant under any circumstance if it was deemed that there is a crisis at the southern border. But right now, that bill is going to be delayed. It is not going to get a vote this week, and it's because of opposition to it, not from Democrats, but from fellow Republicans. There is this group of, we will call them more moderate Republicans, although they may even shy away from that name. But for now, these moderate Republicans, they are concerned the bill simply goes too far. They say that in the cases of families, especially with children, there are some legitimate fears, if they're coming from violence, that those cases should be allowed at least to apply for asylum. And it's not clear under this bill that that would be allowed. So they think it goes too far. Now, this bill was supposed to be fast-tracked, sponsored by Congressman Chip Roy from Texas. It was one of Speaker McCarthy's priority bills, and it's set to get a vote this week. It was part of the deal that McCarthy made with a couple of members that actually helped him secure enough votes to become Speaker. But after a few dozen Republicans expressed opposition to it, it became clear this bill would certainly fail to pass. Now, remember, House Republicans have a razor-thin majority right now, so that means it only takes 4 of them to vote against their own party and block any one bill. And it's clear right now, in its current form, this bill simply doesn't have enough support to move forward. A couple other things that this bill would do. It would mandate that the Homeland Security Secretary close the border off if immigration agencies say that they're at a crisis point and cannot process migrants. And it would also empower states' attorneys general to sue the federal government if the DHS secretary fails to take that action. Now, we did reach out to some other House Republican offices just to see if there are any conversations going on behind the scenes right now to try to get some of those who are opposed to this bill on board. What we can tell you right now is that this bill is being sent back to the Homeland Security Committee, where it's going to be reworked. So we'll see if there are any substantive changes to it that maybe get a couple of people on board. But so far, it is delayed, Mitch.
So, Joe, I know this bipolar world that we live in when it comes to politics, but I have to ask, couldn't Republicans, if they can't get 4 of their own people, couldn't they reach across the aisle? Isn't there something in here that Democrats would support, even if it's not 100% Republican vote in favor of?
Yeah, so in theory, I mean, it's not a crazy scenario. In theory, that could always happen for any one of these bills. For this one specifically, there is no Democratic House support. It may just go too far for Democrats. I can tell you, though, there have been a number of Democrats in the House open to supporting measures that do strengthen the southern border, if there is also included in there some immigration measures that would, for example, give DACA recipients a pathway to citizenship. So there is a deal to be had there. We just haven't seen it yet concretely or on paper. Certainly this specific bill, there is no Democratic support in the House, and it would really never see the light of day in a Democrat-controlled Senate. But again, there is that deal that I think both sides could reach. We just have not seen it so far, Mitch.
I would love to see the two sides working together, and it seems like immigration reform is a good opportunity for that. Joe Khalil, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.